that we discovered that we had a couple of clinicians who probably down the lower end in terms of understanding evidence-based and were definitely the best people at getting people back to work, right? So those two individuals were often regarded by some of my more academic colleagues as being rogues until they started seeing the results. And even then they weren't prepared to see their believe their results. But they were getting improvements. Now the thing is you need a cohort of patients to do it. But we are so obsessed with evidence, and don't get me wrong. The importance of it. You need to use it, and you need to do basic sciences. But that you need to, you also need to recognise that individuals have an impact. But you've got to measure it because it's the same argument. Just to let me finish. Go. The trouble is that we've got good clinicians. We've got these people of really high performers using the same argument as ones that are poor performers, saying, I do it what I feel. So if you don't distinguish them, it all becomes a mess, and it actually detracts from those who are actually really good at it. So the first thing is, and it's not that easy, but it's actually trying to have a cohort of patients and then measure individuals' performance with that cohort. And with WorkSafe we can do it. It's actually really hard in sport because you're so close to the ceiling effect a lot of the time. You're really pushing up against it. You've got a lot of clinicians trying to get those last few millimetres, and minimal detectable change in that could be 0.1% that makes a difference. Really difficult. But with us we can do that. So that's one of the important points. But then it raises the other question, again, you've put it, the patient preference one. And the patient preference one is the one that I'm not sure I know the answer to, because we've still got patients who want the manual therapy. And a meaningful clinical benefit is not necessarily what a patient wants. So there's been studies done on, patients who, for example, have had babies and they put them in 5-star hotels. That's kind of, for their post-partum management. That's what they want. They want 5-star hotel management, not making sure, if anything goes wrong, you're going to stop them dying. So you've got all these people saying, my care was fantastic because, I get, a decent latte for breakfast. And I don't, so how do we, that's a patient preference. I think going back to the last thing, just that thing on the manual therapy, the real problem with manual therapy, and Jack, I'm not telling you anything, but it's just a hard thing to research. When you talk about evidence-based, not all of the evidence-based processes or evidence-based studies can allow for some of the things that we do, like in the short term, as a benefit.
So, I think the other part of that too is how do you quantify something like the feel, of the hands-on? And I think too, there are some really brilliant manual therapists out there, but